this shit.
Can you riff on comfort is expensive?
All day. Bro, that's my favorite one.
I'd make that like the vlog topic.
So, bro, we came across the rawest quote. Comfort is expensive. Whew. Whew. The pressure behind that one right there. I mean, where do we start? Like, the cost of everything that you want is on the other side of where you've never been. And like, a lot of the times the places where we haven't been is because we're so like in a spot of where we're at that either A, we don't know that we're stuck in that particular spot that we've been at because we're unaware, or B, you may be aware and you're just not making the fucking move. And like, I can't stress enough, like when we talk about the expensive part of it, it's like everything that you want, it's on the other end of one adjustment that you can make, or one thing that should be a non-negotiable that you're not making a non-negotiable. And I mean, I could go on for days about this particular one. I don't know where you want to go with questions. Like, okay, I got you. I kind of know. For me, specifically, like, I can think about it in an area where I'm comfortable. I don't think I really, for me, the biggest one for me was like my control. So I wanted massive control over a lot of different things. I wanted certain things to look a certain way before I would engage or do something like that. And that was me just, again, wanting control of a situation. Where I became, and that was my comfort, right? Because like, for me, my strength had always been, if something needed to get done, I'm gonna get it done and I'm gonna grind my ass off until I get it done. But that type of mindset within business, if you're trying to like grow something for my lane, it might not be for everyone's lane, but my lane, if you're trying to, build like an enterprise, you can't have that mindset. You need others around. You need to let go in certain circumstances. You need to make decisions in certain circumstances fast, rather than being like, still make educated decisions, right? But rather than like trying to make sure everything is dotted down to the X, you make a decision based off of the best amount of information that you have at that time, right? All of that being said, my biggest thing I had to get out of was recognizing that amount of control that I had was actually holding me back, and releasing that comfort that I had with control to allow for things outside of that to bring me what it is that, thus far it's brought me, and it's continued to. So the more for me, like, better, but the more for me that I have embraced that mindset and I've let go in a lot of capacities, I've gotten back tenfold.
But that's a micro too.
Yep.
Zero ego lifts.
Have to. Come on. Left side's the one that's interesting for me, so let's get it.
How does control show up now?
Control for me, same shit. Same shit, like my team. I'll see something in Slack that I know 3 other people can handle, and I'm responding to it. The fuck am I doing that for? You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be doing that. I have systems in place. I have teams that are handling that. I allow for them to handle that because that's what it is about, So I even catch myself sometimes recognizing in the moment, boom, like, that's not you don't have to be doing that in this situation. Like, you set up things to not have to be able to do that. Another one would be, for me, a lot of the times for me, it's, I think I know what something needs to look like. What I mean by that is like a partnership. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to work with that partner at this time, under this circumstance. And that's a thing of control. Assuming, one, that you always know exactly what's within your best interest. Shout out to anyone who knows A Course in Miracles, because if you know, you know. And like pushing within that frame when sometimes if you look at what's presented in front of you and you kind of roll with, let's say, the path of least resistance, you can discover that what you thought you needed was actually minute in comparison to what was brought to you, and it being significantly better than anything you could have imagined. And that only happens sometimes when you let go of that ideation, always that you may not necessarily always know what's within your best interest. Be open to other things presenting themselves in different fashions. So I'm going to see how this moves first. Yeah, fucked up. Smell. Yep. She's keeping the place on side of things as we go throughout. I get like the rubber bands on the hooks versus not on the hooks. Like I was picking. Question for you then, not just since we're on. LED, I'm sure we haven't heard the word back. Yeah. I wouldn't press it. So like, we're on pace for, now that they bid stock, we're on pace for like 120 this particular month. As long as we stay on, we're good.
Yeah, boy.
That's some Mozart shit, bro.
So your calendar reveals your priorities.
Your calendar reveals your priorities. I mean, straight up. Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets improved. So if like your entire life saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to this, or I'm getting to it, and it hasn't been something that you're actually like creating a system to measure yourself on, whether it be amount of time that you're putting in, whether it be, again, it could be time, it could be something that can be, reps, whatever it may be. If you're just putting it and saying, oh yeah, I'm doing better, or I've been doing this, but it's not quantified, you're bullshitting. What you physically put in on a day in and day out basis, if you really want to see progression, should have some type of tangible metric that you can measure yourself against. Have some type of tangible metric that you can measure yourself against for enhancement and improvement. Otherwise, you're just pussyfooting around. Especially if it's something where you've been wanting to do this for a long time, or you haven't actually accomplished that particular thing, and it kind of just keeps being on lukewarm. It's time to hit the fucking broiler and turn that shit up, and actually put yourself in a situation to be accountable towards what it is that you say you're going to put yourself towards to. For me specifically, I always execute a system and a structure that, for me, it's never been so I can't lie to you in front and say, hey, this is something I struggle with. I'm kind of the opposite, where whenever I do something, I'll tend to overdo something in a certain capacity, and I'll need to rein myself back. But for those of you who do struggle with actually making yourself accountable towards something, I would venture you to go ahead and do this. One, start small. I thought with those that hop into it because they haven't been doing it for so long or what have you, you'll get that sudden inspiration, that sudden motivation, and you'll go all the way to Z end of the spectrum. So like if you want to put in, let's say that, what's required is you putting in 2 hours a day towards something, don't go straight to your 2 hours. You know what I mean? Start at 15 minutes. Start somewhere that you know that you can execute into and you can remain consistent there. Because as you remain consistent, you do your 15 minutes every single day, you're gonna start to realize, oh bam, let me push it to 30 minutes. And you build confidence on that. What issue is when you go all the way fucking to 2 hours and then it becomes a stressor for you because you haven't beat the ecosystem for that and you burn out hella quick.